To keep a fighter jet flying, you have to initiate a highly controlled, incredibly violent explosion, and then trap it inside a metal tube. This schematic shows how that works in practice. Up front, the intake pulls in massive amounts of ambient air, and then the compressor violently squeezes that air down, packing it as tightly as possible. From there, that high-pressure air is pushed into the combustor, where it's mixed with fuel and ignited. Finally, the turbine catches the resulting blast, spinning the compressor and generating the thrust needed for flight. In 1986, India launched the Kaveri program to build one of these systems entirely from scratch. The goal was to power their domestic Tejas fighter jet and end the strategic dependence on foreign suppliers. Mastering this specific technology is the dividing line between nations that buy their airframes and those that possess the ability to design and sustain them. This chart shows the early performance of the Kaveri prototypes against their operational goals. The program needed to reach 81 kilonewtons of thrust, but test runs in Russia peaked at only 70.4 kilonewtons. The engine core was also much heavier than its American counterparts. This weight penalty made the engine nearly impossible to balance within the airframe of the Tejas. India's Gas Turbine Research Establishment, or GTRE, knew they had to fix these engineering flaws, but they ran into a logistical wall. India did not have its own high-altitude testing chambers. To simulate the extreme conditions of flight, Indian scientists had to ship their prototypes to specialized facilities in Russia. Because slots were so limited, those uncertified engines often sat in storage for up to 3 years waiting for a turn on the test rig. An engineering cycle cannot function when it takes 3 years to find out if a defined fix actually worked. The constant delays effectively paralyzed the development of the engine core. Even if they could test faster, scientists still faced the physics of the hot section. At full power, temperatures in the turbine exceed 1500 degrees Celsius, a point where standard industrial metals will literally melt and warp. To survive this, you have to construct the turbine blades out of advanced nickel-based superalloys, grown as single crystals. Standard metals are made of grains that pull apart under heat. Single crystal blades are formed as one continuous microscopic structure, which eliminates those internal weak points and allows the blades to maintain their shape under extreme stress. Without mastering this specific material science, building a high-performance fighter engine is an engineering impossibility. In the 1990s, the Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, faced a similar crisis when international sanctions cut off their access to cryogenic rocket technology. ISRO survived by adopting a failure-based design culture. The agency acted as a central technology incubator, coordinating the work of private contractors rather than trying to build every bolt in a government vacuum. GTRE is now implementing this exact blueprint. They have shifted away from the isolated lab model to embrace a broader ecosystem of private manufacturing. Now, specialized private companies like PTC Industries are independently manufacturing the complex single-crystal blades that used to be a primary bottleneck. Firms like Godrej Aerospace have established vacuum brazing facilities to join engine components at low pressure. This strengthens the joints and allows them to deliver fully assembled modules that can withstand the intense internal pressure of a jet engine. With the core components localized, engineers can focus on the afterburner. This system injects raw fuel directly into the exhaust stream, creating the surge of power required for supersonic flight and urgent combat maneuvers. By utilizing this private ecosystem, GTRE has resolved long-standing stability issues like afterburner screeching, and is currently scaling the design up to a 90 kilonewton system. Shifting to this incubator model transforms engineering roadblocks into domestic industries that India can control and scale. Ending the 3-year Russian testing backlog remains the final critical step for the program. India is now building the National Aero Engine Test Complex. This facility is designed to simulate high altitudes and speeds up to Mach 2 without the engines ever leaving the country. Having these wind tunnels on shore allows GTRE engineers to test prototypes, fail safely, and implement design changes in a matter of days. Controlling the testing environment is as vital to autonomy as the design of the engine itself. Jet engine independence requires a convergence of 4 specific factors: trained human capital, advanced materials, sustained funding, and domestic testing infrastructure. Those 40 years of development represent the time it takes to build an entire aerospace industrial base from a standstill. India has transitioned from putting together imported foreign kits to the indigenous design of the thermal and mechanical cores of modern propulsion. Kaveri 2.0 provides the foundation for India to maintain independent control over its own air defense future.